Hello, clever people, and welcome to my review for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a new movie by director Quentin Tarantino. It's the 9th movie by him. He's made movies such as Inglourious Basterds, Kill Bill, Pulp Fiction. He's a very, very well-known director. He's very well known for making very long but extremely entertaining movies. And this one stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Margot Robbie, and Al Pacino. It's a super big cast, and it follows the story of Cliff Booth and Rick Dalton, which is an actor and a stunt double, and it's about just them and their life living in Hollywood. And there's also kind of a tie-in to the Marilyn Manson murders at the same time. I was super excited for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I thought that the trailers looked incredible. I loved watching them over and over again. The songs in the trailers got stuck in my head and I couldn't stop thinking about them. I was super excited for this movie, and leading up to it, I actually watched every single Quentin Tarantino movie other than Death Proof. So at the very end, I will be giving my ranking into them. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I was kind of worried because Quentin Tarantino's movies, a lot of them I really like, but a lot of them came in below expectation for me. Because he makes movies that are mostly just purely entertaining and don't really have a whole lot of messages in them. He makes movies for himself and really not for anybody else, which is what a lot of people admire about him. So going into this, I was a little worried about that, but honestly, that was not a problem to me with his movie. There are certain movies where that's not a problem. Inglourious Basterds, the fact that there wasn't really a message in there, that one didn't bug it so much. Kill Bill Volume 1, that one didn't bug it so much. Movies that have, I would say, are Kill Bill Volume 2, Django Unchained, those kind of movies. But this one, I was very, very thoroughly entertained by this movie from start to finish. The best part of this movie by far are Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. They give incredible performances in this movie. I totally see Brad Pitt getting an Oscar nomination for this. And unfortunately, even though they're both leading actors, I see Brad Pitt being put in supporting category. But still, I thought he was incredible in this movie. Leo, I think that he's given better. But still, I mean, he does deliver an Oscar-worthy performance. And Margot Robbie, with how little she does in this movie, she is pretty good. And I think that she does a good job. She just doesn't have a whole lot to do, and her character is kind of one note and flat, which was a problem. But besides that, she was pretty solid. The other thing that I went into Once Upon a Time in Hollywood being worried about was the runtime. It sits at a staggering 2 hours and 40 minutes. And even though the movie does feel long, and even though it does feel like a good chunk of time, it's not a problem. What Tarantino does is very interesting. Most of the movie takes place during one day, and the way that he shoots it and the way he directs it makes it feel like that amount of time actually lasts an entire day, which I thought was very impressive, and I liked the way that he did that. But really, this is a movie of scenes. There are just some incredible scenes in this movie. There's a very long scene involving Brad Pitt and a group of hippies that's really good, especially a scene where he goes and talks to an old movie producer. There's a scene with Leonardo DiCaprio when he's talking to a young actress. There's just a lot of really small good scenes in this movie, especially the last 30 minutes or 20 minutes. That's just pure Tarantino. It's wonderful. It's so much fun to watch. And a thing this movie has that a lot of other movies don't is rewatchability. I can definitely see myself watching this movie over and over again once it comes out on Blu-ray. I think I'll go see it a couple more times in theaters because it is thoroughly entertaining. It is one of the most entertaining movies I have seen all year long. And it's a movie that you can just be very chill around, that you can kind of relax around, let down everything and just forget about all your problems and go into the world of the movie. And in the end, that's what all movies should do, and this one does it. In terms of cons with this movie, a lot of scenes in this movie are drawn out a little bit longer than they need to be. Again, I like the pace, but still, you could have added more in this movie with other scenes rather than dragging out the scenes as long as they did. And it does have really no message in it. It's a heartfelt movie, and at the end it is saying something, but it doesn't really have a message you can relate to, which I was expecting from Quentin Tarantino. And as great as many scenes as there are that are great, there are also some scenes that just feel like they're in there to be scenes to get people from one place to another, particularly a lot of car shots. But in the end, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a really well done movie. movie. It's thoroughly entertaining, and if you are a fan of Quentin Tarantino or if you're a fan of slow-paced movies, you will enjoy this movie, and I can recommend it to you. I will give Once Upon a Time in Hollywood an 8.75 out of 10. Alright, at the end of the video, I said that I would rank the movies, so I do have my list of how I would rank the Quentin Tarantino movies, and it goes as follows. At number 1, I have Pulp Fiction. At number 2, I put Reservoir Dogs. At number 3, I have Jackie Brown. Number 4 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so it's pretty high up there for me. Number 5 is Inglourious Basterds. Number 6 is The Hateful Eight. Number 7 is Kill Bill Volume 1. Number 8 is Django Unchained, and number 9 is Kill Bill Volume 2. Really, the last 2 movies are the only movies that I think are decent but not great movies. The other 7 I think are all great movies. They're all very entertaining, and they're all definitely worth your time. But anyways, that concludes my review for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So, what are your thoughts on this film, or what do you think of Quentin Tarantino's other movies? How would you rank them? Comment in the comment section below and let me know. I'm Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.